Hello, I'm Daniela Saioni, and I am a comedy screenwriter and a screenwriting teacher based in Toronto, Canada. And I'm here today with my top tip to help you improve your dialogue writing. Now, before I tell you what it is, I want you to know that everything I teach is based not only on voraciously studying comedy screenwriting for so many years and training comedy screenwriters for the past 8 years, some of whom are working on really big shows in Canada, and also having done stand up for 8 years. Equally as important to that is all the work I've done on the front lines of great TV series like Soul Food and Suits for so many years, as well as movies like A Simple Favor and Shazam as a script supervisor. So I have a really intimate understanding of what makes for great film and television dialogue. I also won 2 big screenwriting awards in the past few months, and the judges' notes in both cases praised my ability to write dialogue. So everything I do is what I teach my students, and here's the number one thing I'm going to tell you. The thing that distinguishes a brand new writer from a professional in terms of the dialogue is, are the character voices distinct? So are you differentiating the way one character speaks versus every other character in your piece? Most people in life don't speak in perfect grammatically correct sentences on a colloquial, speaking level, unless they're reading a speech that's been prepared, or unless you happen to be writing for The Crown or sort of a show that demands it. Most of the time, people speak in very specific ways that are unique to them. So how do you solve that problem as a new screenwriter? I still do this today. I do this very exercise I'm going to tell you several years into my screenwriting career. And that is, I create a dialogue manifesto for each and every character. So what that means is, after I do the character work, after I design the way, how the characters grew up, what their major flaws, what the world they're living in now, where do they work, etc. I design my character, but before I start writing the screenplay, I create this dialogue manifesto. And what it does is help me design and list out all the different things that are specific to the way this character speaks. So for example, I would include, how do they greet people? Some people say hello, hi, yo, like there's 500 ways to say hello. So how does your character greet people? How do they say goodbye? I'm Italian Canadian, so I'll say ciao. And how do they, there's so many ways your character could say goodbye. Or do they not say anything when they leave? That's a choice too. How do they curse? Cursing is a really fun and important one. For example, does your character curse at all? And if they do they go full guns, R-rated swear words? Do they curse at inappropriate times? Like, when do they curse? That could go in your manifesto. We had a great actress on Suits who grew up in a religious family in Hawaii, and her way of cursing was saying "mother of pearl," and that always made me laugh. So how does your character curse? What is the specific slang that is specific to their world? Like, if your character is a secretary in a paper company, she'll have a different set of slang words than a CEO of a white-collar corporation, or a garbage truck driver, or a postal service worker. Everyone's character, a mother of two, everyone will have a set of slang words and phrases that are specific to them, the worlds that they live in and they walk in your show, according to the way you've designed them. What's their level of education? That's going to affect the level of their vocabulary, and also the very specific words and phrases they use. Does your character have a catchphrase? They might. If they do, write it down. I used to date this guy dated this guy for a year. He spoke often in song lyrics. So he would quote song lyrics and just drop them in the middle of sentences, and expected that I would know what the hell he was talking. But anyway, there are characters like this in life, right? So you can design your character's very specific word choices in any way you like. It's actually a really fun exercise. Most important to this manifesto is their sentence structure. Not everyone speaks in perfectly fully formed sentences. Some people speak in one-word answers. Some people stutter. Some people have an elliptical speech pattern where they start in one topic and they'll go into another topic and maybe come back to the other one. Some people interrupt other people. Some people speak in questions. Some people, trail off in the middle of a sentence. The sentence structure is a really really specific thing to look at and consider when you're designing the way your characters speak. So there it is. So that's my top tip. Create a dialogue manifesto before you start writing the script. When you start writing, you won't be stuck for words, for one thing, but also every character will be distinct. And it's a real game changer, believe me. As someone who reads a lot of scripts and writes a lot of scripts, I can tell you for sure it'll change your game. Try it anyway. If you enjoyed this tip, please follow me on Mondo Cinema Film and TV Workshops Facebook page. Or if you're interested in learning a whole lot more about comedy screenwriting, I actually have a 5-week course starting this Saturday, April 2nd, noon to 4 Toronto time, every Saturday, April 4th to May 2nd. It's 5 weeks. In between, we're going to do a live Q&A every Wednesday night so I can guide all the writers through their specific questions and their specific issues they're having with their screenplays. It's online, so it's accessible from anywhere in the world. The price is in the event description because it's going to be different depending on the currency you use. Either way, whether you join my classes, follow my page or not, I hope this has helped, and happy writing.